move these up from Carl. In fact, Richard, when you were talking about the elephant in the room, I thought you might be talking about Mark Connolly or myself. So I'm glad it was just the government. Thanks, Christy. Thanks, everyone. I'm very excited to be here to talk about Apollo Minerals and our new discovery, zinc and lead in Gabon, and to share this presentation as described with Executive Director Neil Inwood. We're also joined by fellow Director of Apollo Minerals, Rob Behetz, in the room. And first of all, thank you and congratulations to Bill Rapard and his team at Paydirt for putting on the conference. It is a very important forum. As mentioned by the Minister for Mines and Petroleum and Energy in Western Australia, the engagement that he described between the Western Australian government and various African countries on the subject of mining has certainly been facilitated by forums such as this, and specifically this forum, and the platform it provides for engagement with the federal government and the state government on issues. And obviously we've been hearing about one very relevant one to the industry in relation to travel. Before I move on and talk about the exciting discovery and development plans we have for Apollo Minerals, I did want to talk about other aspects of that forum, and it's, as Bill Rapard described in his opening comments, the opportunity it provides to discuss the success stories of the Australian mining engagement with Africa, as well as the challenges. And I always find it inspiring, picking up on the entrepreneurship that he mentioned, to present at this conference alongside some of those success stories. And we've heard from two excellent examples this morning, Carl and his success with Sandfire in Botswana, and Richard and the amazing success of his development and operating mine in Burkina Faso. And that's certainly what we think we've got ahead of us in Apollo Minerals, the scale and discovery. But to pick up on the success stories and the challenges, I think it's very important that we understand in Africa, as I have spoken about previously, the partnership and that engagement between mining companies and governments. I have presented at this conference for more than a decade, originally for Equatorial Resources and then with Resolute. And the key features of the success stories we've heard about, whether they're with Sandfire or with West African or the other mines that create revenue, is that engagement between a mining company and an African government. And I think Australia can be incredibly proud of the way all of our companies operate, both in terms of the investments they make, the technology that we provide, and the ESG platform on which we do so. But it is based on a legal principle. I'm about to talk about Gabon and our enthusiasm for discovery and the potential development of a mine. And that is based on our confidence in the jurisdiction. But it's also relevant in this forum to talk about Equatorial experience in the Republic of Congo. We sit alongside Sundance's Resources and Core Mining in the unfortunate circumstance of having our operation expropriated by the government. And as exciting and as inspiring it is to hear about Sandfire's $2.5 billion of revenue that's going to be generated from the copper mine we heard about in Carl's video, and to see in real life, as many of us in this room have had the privilege to do, the economic benefits that will bring to the country. It is somewhat sobering in contrast to those life of mine revenues to realise that the Republic of Congo is currently facing potential damages of $50 billion if you total up the quantum of claims that are being pursued in arbitration. In relation to the lost opportunity. And I think that is the challenge of Africa. It's a multifaceted and very complex continent. And increasingly, we're going to see the governments and the areas not only based on their geological opportunity, but on their fiscal platform and their ability to maintain the confidence of investors and reward a country like Australia that does have an entrepreneurial spirit and is willing to put technology, skills and money into the development of mining. And so on that basis, I'd love to talk a little bit more about Apollo Minerals and to pass over to Neil to talk about the exciting geological discovery. And we've just put out some further very significant drill results this morning. I recognise from Bill's introduction that in West Africa at the moment it's somewhere between midnight and 2 a.m. So I won't ostentatiously provide my presentation in French as I have in previous years. Bienvenue au Gabon is the translation of that slide, and I won't translate any others. The purpose of this slide, as you can see, is to point out what a friendly and welcoming place Libreville is as an introduction to what we believe is going to become a very well-known mining jurisdiction of Africa. You can see there, Gabon, if you're not immediately aware, is a country on the Atlantic coast. It's actually in Central Africa, but it's obviously on the west coast. It's bordered by the Republic of Congo to the south, Equatorial Guinea to the north, and Cameroon. And it actually has an incredibly successful and long-term history of successful mining and energy investments. Produces more than 200 barrels of oil a day, and it has one of the longest running and most successful manganese mines in the world. Gabon has been a major supplier of manganese since independence in 1960. That mine, it originally operated through the longest aerial bucket conveyor in the world, some 80 kilometres, that crossed the border between Gabon and the Republic of Congo. That mine was responsible for the construction of not only the Republic of Congo's railway system, but also the Trans-Gabon Railway, and it's in operation to this day. And that is the most important demonstration of the concept of partnership I spoke about earlier. Gabon also is becoming more relevant because of its ambition of the President Bongo to join the Commonwealth. So not only does it have mining innovation going back more than 50 years, but it is a progressive Francophone West African jurisdiction. It wants to move into the Anglophone world. It's well known in Francophone global mining politics as a successful jurisdiction, and I'm convinced it's going to become one in the Anglophone world. And if you're interested in a pictorial demonstration of just how stable the government is, you can see from how young I look in that photo that President Bongo, who's still in charge of the country, has been there for some time, demonstrating his stability. I'm very pleased that Apollo Minerals, along with our fellow ASX-listed Gabon-focused company, Genmin, is a founding member of the Gabon Mining Club. It currently consists of Genmin and Apollo Minerals. Anyone else who's interested in the highly prospective, stable jurisdiction of Gabon is welcome to join us. Joe Ariti, Managing Director of Genmin, is here at the conference. Joe's been working at Gabon for more than 8 years and is well on his way to being that jurisdiction's first successful iron ore miner. Gabon has a huge resource of very high quality iron ore projects. And the access to existing infrastructure, all of which we're looking to also exploit at Apollo Minerals. Here's some of that infrastructure, great highway system, good access for exploration. And on the right-hand side there, you can see where our project is located. It's very close to a number of key infrastructure potential corridors. And in introducing Neil to talk about not only the discovery we've made, the drill results this morning, but the pathway forward, I'll summarise quickly the project. This is a very, very large-scale zinc and lead province play. High-level assessments on metallurgy, scale, and the ability to construct a mine here are highly optimistic, and we're looking forward to following the pathway of Sundance, Sandfire, more importantly, West African and others. And with that, I'll pass across to Neil.
Ooh, thanks, John. I'll have to lower this down a bit, I think. Ooh. Hey, look, as John said, at the Crusoe project in Gabon, we think we've got an exciting, large-scale discovery on our hands. We've put some new results out this morning along with the new presentation, and I encourage you to have a look if you could. And as with Sandfire's Kalahari project, we're looking at scale. Just a quick summary about the project. We have about 1,000 square kilometres of tenement holdings in Gabon. In that holding, we have about an 80-kilometre trend of prospective contact. All along that contact, there's zinc and lead mineralisation, and that's what we're exploring for. We've got 18 defined prospects, And only portions of that contact have been explored to date. The deeper portions of the contact haven't been touched. We've only touched the shallow portions. And what we're seeing now with our drilling results is shallow, high-grade mineralisation. Our focus for drilling this year has been at DIKAKI, and we've just moved the rigs to the second prospect, which is near Bimbu. So if there's any takeaway from today's presentation, Gabon, fantastic place to operate. Ourselves, GenMin, having really great experience. For Crusoe, scale. 80 k's of strike, 18 prospects. Each of these prospects has between 2 and 8 kilometres of prospective contacts with already established zinc and lead mineralisation, either in soils or rock chips or early stage drilling. Our maiden drilling in 2021 at DIKAKI, for example, we've had significant hits like 32 metres at 3% zinc and lead, including, say, 13 metres at 5.3%. Shallow. We're seeing this from this mineralisation's from surface, or the bulk of the mineralisation probably averages about less than 20 metres. We released an announcement earlier on in the week for near Bimbu. We've actually intercepted shallow mineralisation at this new prospect as well, the first ever drilling at that prospect. This diagram here is just trying to show the 18 prospects on the left-hand side, and the top diagram shows the DIKAKI prospect, and that shows the plus 8 kilometres of open shallow channels. And the bottom image shows the Niambimbu prospect, which we're drilling now, and that shows, again, the plus 8 kilometres of prospective trend. And when I'm talking about shallow, those two sections on the left-hand side, that's typical sections to what we're seeing at DIKAKI. And the results today, they're from that bottom section. And I can't quite make out the details, but shallow, less than 20 metres, and I think from memory about 9 metres at 4%. That section on the bottom, that's open for 400 metres. The section's open for 400 metres. The trend there is open for 1.5 kilometres to the east and about 6 kilometres to the west. What we're finding with this drilling is that the previous drilling by the BRGM was too shallow and was too character sampled. So they weren't sampling the entire holes and they weren't drilling deep enough. And to the east of DIKAKI, we're blowing it apart. All of our drilling we're seeing now is significantly higher than any of the historical drilling. And in fact, now we're reviewing the historical drilling to the west, we're realising, again, very much that same issue. So we think DIKAKI is totally open. The mineralisation styles, we're seeing some really beautiful rocks, lovely, quite visible sphalerite and galena, multiple different mineralisation styles. The image on the bottom right is our exploration manager, Cedric Genest, and that's actually some high-grade outcrop just at surface at DIKAKI. So really nice looking MVT style deposit. Just another slide on DIKAKI. I won't labour the point, but scale, today's results, 38 metres at 2, including 12 metres at 4, for example, from 28 metres. The average depth at DIKAKI is, I think it's about 18 metres. It's very shallow, very low strip ratio being indicated. These studies need to be done, but we're seeing very shallow mineralisation. Niambimbu, same thing, very early days, but we put a recent announcement out just trying to highlight the styles of mineralisation we're seeing. We're seeing very similar styles to DIKAKI. And what's up going forward? From this diagram, you can see it's been a bit of a long lead into the project. We've had to, like a lot of companies, solve the COVID issues, transport, travel issues. But coming now, we've got a lot of results backed up into the lab. We've still got 25 drill holes pending from DIKAKI, and we're aiming to do up to 5,000 metres at Niambimbu this year. So quite an exciting time. We've got mapping and geophysical surveys happening in country now, and we're looking to a very strong end of 2021. And I will finish there. Thank you very much.